So much. I'm sorry to break in there, but we have to go live now to the United Nations, where the Security Council meeting is broken up. Let's listen in to what the UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon is about to tell the press.
Thank you for your waiting time and patience. I'm pleased to be joined by our joint Special Envoy, His Excellency Kofi Annan, and the Secretary-General of League of Arab States, His Excellency al-Arabi. As you know, we briefed the General Assembly this morning, and we have just concluded our briefing session with the Security Council this afternoon. We also had an in-depth trilateral consultation over a working luncheon. Today, it has been sort of Syria Day as far as we are concerned. I have been spending almost 10 hours today, starting from early this morning, without any other programs. As you are already aware, the situation in Syria continues to deteriorate. Today's report of yet another massacre in al-Kubayr underscored the horrifying reality on the ground. How many more times have we to condemn them? And how many ways must we say that we are outraged? The Syrian people are bleeding, they are angry, they want peace and dignity. Above all, they all want action. The three of us agree Syria can quickly go from a tipping point to a breaking point. The danger of full-scale civil war is imminent and real, with catastrophic consequences for Syria and the region. We see little evidence that the regime is complying with its commitment under the six-point plan endorsed by the Security Council more than 2 months ago. The opposition is hardening and turning increasingly to arms. Terrorists are exploiting the chaos. Gross human rights violations are multiplying. The killing we have witnessed in recent weeks is indicative of a pattern that may amount to crimes against humanity. The confrontations in certain areas of the country have taken on the character of an internal conflict subject to international humanitarian law and possible war crimes prosecution. The international community must recognize all these realities and must act now. The Annan plan remains at the center of our efforts. We continue to support it. At the same time, in view of the deteriorating situations, I would welcome further international discussions on the way forward. The upcoming G20 summit meeting in Los Cabos, Mexico is an important opportunity. I'll be there, and I expect that the key stakeholders to take advantage of this gathering to discuss the crisis in its full depth and breadth. No one can predict how the situation in Syria will evolve. We must be prepared for any eventuality. We must be ready to respond to many possible scenarios. At the request of the Security Council, I will soon present a variety of options for the way ahead. It is up to the members of the Council to find common course. And we are very much encouraged by such a strong commitment and the unity of voices in condemning current recent massacres. And they were all passionate in speaking out for the necessity of taking actions. But let me say here that we need bold action. We must speak with one voice. We must deliver a clear and unmistakable message. The violence must stop on both sides. We need a peaceful transition that meets the aspirations of the Syrian people. In all this, unity is essential. And I thank you very much. And I'd like to invite Secretary-General of League of Arab States.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary-General. First of all, I would like to subscribe fully to what the Secretary-General have said. All the points that he have made are fully in agreement with the mandate I have from the League of Arab States when the foreign ministers met in Doha on the 2nd of June. They have asked that I convey to the Security Council their deep concern that enough is enough. We cannot accept any more killing of innocent people, whether on this side or that side. They are all Syrians, and the fighting has to stop. The League of Arab States have started last July to press on the Syrian leadership the need to stop the fighting. Nothing has happened. We have tried many things, including deploying observers. Nothing has happened again. Now it's in the hand of the United Nations. The Security Council is the organ vested with the primary responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security. It's up to the Security Council to take action now. The message I brought with me is calling for the Security Council to apply the provision of Chapter 7 relating to Article 41 in particular, that is to say, all kinds of pressure, not the use of force, all kinds of pressure should be exerted and exerted now. Fighting has to stop. We cannot let down the Syrian people anymore. Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much. I think all has been said. Let's take the question.
Okay, wait, Talal, and please wait for the microphone. Please say who you are and to whom the question is addressed.
Thank you so much. My name is Talal Haj from al-Arabi news channel. Mr. Kofi Annan, many are describing your plan in the Middle East as dead, and if not, even here they're saying it's a life support. What new plans, what new ideas you have to inject in this wonderful 6-point plan that is not being implemented to resuscitate it, besides pleading and asking and cajoling the Syrians to comply? And Mr. Secretary-General, what steps have you taken to comply with the request of the Security Council on the 27th of May through the press statement to investigate fully, independently and transparently the killing in al-Hola? And Mr. Secretary-General, did you find any reaction from the Security Council concerning your request to have a timetable for the implementation and to protect the civilians in Syria? Thank you so much.
You managed to get 3 questions into one. No, let me say that I'm not sure whether is the plan that is dead or its implementation that is lacking. This is what the Council has been discussing this afternoon. What needs to be done to push implementation, and what will be the consequences if implementation is not carried forward. I think the plan has been endorsed by everyone, and I have also said if this plan is not working, or this is not, we decide it's not the way to go, we should be looking at options. But as long as we all agree that the plan has merit, the question is, how do you get the Syrian government to perform, to implement it, even at this late hour? This is what the Council is in the process of discussing, and I'm not going to do their work. Thank you.
Let us answer. Through our briefings to General Assembly and Security Council today, what we have sensed is that all member states, without exception, they are united in speaking out with one voice that all violence must stop. And they have expressed a strong support for Kofi Annan's 6-point peace plans. They are united. And during our discussions with the Security Council members, many member states have proposed some indicative list of measures which should be taken as a way to sustain the pressure to Syrian authorities, as a way to stop first the violence and protect the human rights, and commence political negotiation reflecting the aspirations of the political Syrian people. As for the detailed measures which may be taken by the Security Council upon recommendation of League of Arab States and upon recommendation of a joint special envoy. This is up to the member states. But having participated in such a long consultation with the Security Council members, all three of us, I believe that the Security Council will take certain actions. You should also realize that it is rare that all these three of us get together at one place. Of course, we have been engaging in trilateral telephone consultations or bilateral consultations, but three of us have briefed the General Assembly today and also Security Council. This is a day for Syrian crisis resolution, and I'm very much encouraged by that.
Very briefly, I delivered the same message to the Assembly and Council. There is a need for action, and action now. I listened to very encouraging statements, period. We'll see how the Council is going to act.
So, thank you. It's Pamela Falk from CBS News. My question is to the Joint Special Envoy and the Secretary-General. There's been a lot of talk about a contact group. Could you tell us what that means? Is it something to bolster the plan to get all the parties, interested parties together? And has there been some progress on appointing an interlocutor for the negotiations between the opposition and the Syrian government?
Let me start with the contact group. There are discussions going on about the possibility of establishing such a group. And the group would include countries with real influence on the situation, countries that can influence either side, the government of Syria and the opposition. If they could come together and look at the problems in a coldly realistic manner, so we are facing difficulties on the ground. We have common interest in the Middle East and in Syria. What do we do to get this plan implemented? And if it's not this plan, what do we do to bring about political peace and political settlement to ensure that the region doesn't blow up? I shared with the Council something a foreign minister in the Middle East told me. He said, Syria is not Libya. It will not implode. It will explode and explode beyond its borders and cause real problems in the region that nobody wants. So if this group can really look at the issues and say, let's cooperate, and probably suggest a roadmap for the Syrians to consider and work really to steer everybody in the same direction, with those with influence on the government using their influence and those who can influence the opposition helping steer things forward, we may make progress. The other question you asked about the second part of your question about the empowered interlocutor, we are not there yet, but it will have to be done. The government of Syria and President Assad has indicated to me personally that when I ask him to do that, he will appoint an empowered interlocutor. I haven't done that because we haven't moved that. We are not there yet.
I do not have much to add what the Joint Special Envoy Kofi Annan has said about this proposal. I can tell you that this is a very valuable idea worth our serious consideration. All these are very early stage. There are many ideas in terms of participants, or in terms of venue, or in terms of objective. But as far as objective is concerned, this is to strongly support Joint Special Envoy Kofi Annan's mediating mandate by the Security Council, then also to provide some ground, first of all, to stop all violence, and on the basis of that, stakeholders, very key stakeholders, limited numbers, can engage in political transitions.